no one told me that my chronic stomach pain was unresolved trauma. I thought that it was really bad acid reflux. It turns out it was grief. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5-step process that I use on myself to not just uncover the root of my chronic illness, but to relieve it in 24 hours. If you're somebody who has been dealing with health issues that no doctor can get to the bottom of, this video is for you. I've helped thousands of people heal through breathwork, inner child work, and somatic work for over a decade. So when people come to me with physical issues, we usually see that there is an emotional root. But in this case, I genuinely thought that my case was different. It all came up after I ate a baguette. I felt really sick and it persisted for weeks on end. Before I knew it, I was waking up in the middle of the night choking, thinking I was literally about to die. And when it lasted for weeks, I knew I needed to get some help. So I cut out spicy foods. I started eating everything bland. I even took antacids. And eventually I went to a specialist and he told me that I needed to do an endoscopy, which is basically testing the stomach lining to see if there are any diseases or cancer. I did all of that. I even went under and got the endoscopy. And when I woke up, the doctor came up to me and said I was the healthiest person he had seen in weeks and he didn't know what was wrong with me. Does this sound familiar? Have you experienced this before? Have you gone through all the steps with your doctors, maybe even seen many doctors, and you can't find a solution? I know what that feels like. And I can tell you, I was there in this hospital so upset. And that's when I knew I needed to go home and apply the same things that I share with my clients. And that's what I want to share with you. Because I'm not saying that this is a replacement to medicine. What I am saying is that I spent thousands of dollars trying to get to the root of my physical issues when it was not just a physical issue. It was also emotional. It was related to unresolved childhood trauma. And I had an inner child that was screaming for my help. And it wasn't until I took these 5 steps did I realize that this emotional turmoil that I was feeling was really at the root of the physical pain that I was experiencing. All right, so let's get into it. So I went home and I quite literally sat with the pain that was in my stomach. I felt the way that it was hurting. I quite literally leaned into the pain in my stomach. I then laid down and I did some gentle breath work. I breathed into my lower belly, I breathed into my heart, and then I did a long exhale out, and I kept that on repeat. As I went into deeper states of awareness, I started to feel the pain. I didn't push it away. I didn't try to relieve it. I actually let myself feel what was there. And that's the first step in my 5-step process. Breathe into the tension. Move into the pain. Because what I've learned over all these years of healing myself and working with thousands of other clients is that pain is often a messenger. It is usually painful because it's trying to get our attention. See, our body speaks. And if we listen, even when it's hurting, we find that there is some underlying wisdom that we have otherwise rejected. So when you are looking at the deeper root of your physical pain, the first thing I need you to do and to remember is that you actually want to let yourself feel the pain because it is a messenger. And I know when it gets really, really painful, it's really hard to take that first step. But I'm going to ask you to have a little faith and try it. So after that, I allowed myself to not just feel the pain, but quite literally ask the pain, what is your message for me? As I let myself feel that feeling and I used my breath to move deeper into the tension, deeper into the sensations, using my exhales to release my fears, I heard a subtle call. It was a younger version of me. It was me, but when I was just 5 years old. And I could hear myself speaking through the pain, through the sensations. And this was really interesting because I know that so often our physical sensations are tied to our younger parts, the inner parts of us that had to split off from our psyche so that it could seek survival and try to complete some of the unresolved traumas of our history. And that's step 3. Let yourself speak to your inner child. There's a younger part of you that is feeling this pain. And it's often because it hasn't been listened to. And in some cases, perhaps you've even been suppressing or harming this younger version of you. This is your opportunity to go into a state of listening and allowing and compassion. Let yourself listen, attune, and open to this younger version of you that wants your attention. The 4th step is to ask what truths need to be told. You could quite literally ask yourself, or your inner child, what is a truth that you've been trying to express to me that I haven't been able to hear? And then let yourself really listen to what that truth is. Now, this can be hard sometimes because what I realized, even in my own experience, is that I didn't really want to hear the truth because the truth was really hard to hear. It was about a family member. And I knew that if I really listened to what my inner child needed, I was going to have to draw some really hard boundaries with this family member, someone that I care about, but someone who I've had a really difficult past with. I think a part of me was really not trying to reconnect to my inner child because I was trying to avoid really making a hard choice. But the beautiful thing is when you open yourself up to the truth and you let yourself be accountable to it, really beautiful feelings of relief replace that fear. You start to just automatically feel a release. You feel lighter. And that inner child feels seen, loved, and protected. And what's most important is that you not just listen to what your inner child has to say, but that you honor and commit to following through to what needs to happen next. See, I really believe that we are the adults that we always wanted as children. And when we do this practice, when we really listen and hold space for our inner child to tell the truth and to unburden all the things that it's scared about, that you are scared about, a really miraculous thing happens. You start to trust yourself. You start to feel not only are you safe and seen, but that you are the hero that you have been looking for. You in turn save yourself. You become the person in your life that you've needed most. And so those are the 5 steps. And if this is something that you feel like you really need to apply, I actually put a free PDF in the description below so that you can take each step with me. I know that this work can be really deep and sometimes scary, especially when you're feeling a lot of physical sensations or chronic pain that has been dragging you for weeks, months, or even years. But I have seen this so many times with so many of my clients, and I have to tell you, after I did these 5 steps, within 24 hours, my chronic acid reflux and stomach issues completely went away. I wasn't taking any medicine. I didn't have any change in my diet. It literally just disappeared. And that's when I knew it. Oh my God. There is always something deeper going on. And again, I want to be really clear. This does not mean that a physical issue does not need medical intervention. What I am saying is that when we cannot find an answer for an ongoing medical condition, we need to look at the deeper implications. And I have seen time and time again, and I'm reminded in my own life that so often the root of it is grief, shame, and unresolved trauma. So if this is something that speaks to you, if you feel like you could use some help to explore, to just see if maybe there's a deeper message in the pain or illness that you've been experiencing, I want you to try these 5 steps with me. And if you need the guide, it's right there in the description below. But most importantly, I'm here for you, and I want you to know that you're not alone. If this is something that you want to try step by step, I also made a video that you can access free when you join my membership on a 7-day trial. The integration is an amazing community and an oasis for us to do these kinds of practices together. And I can't wait to walk you through this step by step because I know personally what it's like for your body to be talking and you not wanting to listen and needing a little bit of help to get there. So I'm here for you. I'm so excited to see you on the other side of my membership community if you'd like to join. But most importantly, I want you to try this whether you do it with me or you do it on your own, because this is the kind of stuff that nobody talks about. And I think it's time that you felt the relief. I'm so looking forward to hearing more. If you've experienced this kind of chronic pain and if you've realized that there's something deeper going on, let us know in the comments below and give it a try and let me know what you experience. I'll see you soon.